Hey friends, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I taught myself how to draw anime heads. I can draw like this now, but back when I started, yeah, my drawings look like this. Even as I got better at other things, anime heads always felt like my absolute biggest weakness. I was stuck until I put myself through a brutal once-month training arc that changed everything. Today, I'm sharing everything from that month, the exact practice methods, the studies, and the major insights that saved my art. My name's Emushii, and let's get started. So the hardest part of starting this training arc was honestly just finding a method that worked. I bought and went through a bunch of expensive anatomy books and online courses. I watched countless YouTube tutorials. I tried the Loomis method. I even spent hours just doing copy study on how my favorite artists drew their heads, trying to replicate what they did. But nothing seems to work and I barely saw any improvement. It got to the point where I could even draw a basic head without tracing over 3D models first. I felt completely stuck at my grip level, just repeating the exact same mistakes over and over again. But then, completely by chance earlier this year, I saw a post from Nekojira, an artist I've admired and followed for a long time. He announced that his online course has officially debuted here in Vietnam, and it even had a 30% discount. Knowing how incredible his work is, I knew I had to check it out. And honestly, the methodology and philosophy he shared in that course completely changed the game for me. Here is exactly what I learned. A core philosophy that Nekojira applies to his art is simplification. No matter how incredibly complex or detailed a character is, it all begins with basic, simple shapes. And this mindset is exactly how we conquer drawing the head. According to him, by focusing on basic shaping structures, you can build a reliable, replicable method to construct a face from absolutely any angle. The ultimate goal was to train yourself to build a mannequin in your mind, one that is accurate, that you can move around freely, and that you can quickly visualize. The better you get at visualizing this mannequin, the more stable, consistent, and precise your drawing will be. Now, the way we go about creating this mannequin is by dividing the entire structure into two key parts: proportions and details. Proportion is the act of styling the core structure of the face using various ratios. It's a blueprint that makes sure everything is in the right place, while details are the individual features, like the eyes, nose, and hair, that we choose to emphasize to make the head actually look appealing. You need both, but they are two completely different steps. My plan for phase 1 of the training arc was to learn the anatomy of the head using a specific daily learning cycle. I focused on learning the actual bones and muscle of the head by studying references from anatomy books, videos, photos, and 3D models. Finally, to keep myself from forgetting, I made it a daily habit to try and sketch down from memory what I had learned from the day before. It really helps lock that muscle memory into place. Here are the actual studies that I did during my training arc. My hope is that by seeing my journey, my struggles, and how things improve over time, you'll get a really good idea of what this looks like in action, and maybe even be inspired to do the same on your own. Oh, and if you're enjoying the tutorial so far, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out when I make a new one. So with that ahead, I focus on learning a simplified version of it because the real thing is super complicated. But I figured even having a basic understanding of it can make a big difference because the bones provide the structure for how the muscles attach and thus what the human figure would look like. And the head is no exception. In the end, anime style is a stylization of real life, so understanding how things work in real life will improve your ability to know what and how to stylize in a way that looks natural and believable. The way I did my studies was actually simple. I started by getting Anatomy for Artists, Drawing from Impulse by Tom Fox Ross. This book was recommended to me by Nekojira himself. I then took detailed notes on how to construct the basic structure of the head from the book. For example, to construct the head, I'm supposed to start with a cube that is taller than it is wide. Then I'm supposed to remove the bottom third of the back half to make the structure resemble the shape of the skull. I also learned about the different landmarks of the face, how the eyes work, and how to construct the ear. Finally, I would output what I had learned into my own stylized version to make it applicable. For step 2, I went back to doing my copy art studies of my favorite artists to learn how they draw. The artist on my list is Kanda. Her style heavily leans on the moe aspect for her characters, which I adore so much. Here is a study I did. As I've been studying her art, I noticed that she prefers to divide the front plane of the head into three sections, instead of two like most other artists. The first division line is the eyebrow line, not the eye level. The second division is where the mouth is. The ratio of these three parts depends on the character, but the most common one is 1, 1.2, 0.8, which means the character has a shorter chin to make them more moe and cuter. This is not a strict rule, and doing precise mathematical measurement ruins the flow of the drawing. This ratio also varies with the age of the character. Mature characters have a 1 to 1 to 1 ratio, and younger characters have even shorter chin. Using the box method has also helped me construct the head in space. The most important lines on the box are the center and side lines. The center line tells you when the middle of the head is, and that helps you place the left and right facial elements correctly, as well as aligns the nose with the mouth. The second most important line are the side lines, and by side lines I mean the size of the box tag here, and so this part. This line tells you where the front of the head stops and the side of the head starts. It's actually around the edge of the eyes here. It is helpful to get the face width correct, since if you think of the front plane like a 3D box, you'll remember to foreshorten it in perspective. This means the front of the head is the widest when facing the front. It has the head turns, you will see less of the front of the head and more of the side of the head. And in this example, we'll think of the front of the head as the A and the side of the face as the B. So as the box turns, the B side becomes more visible while the A side is less and less. This also applies when you try to rotate the box vertically as well. The box method also helps you place the ears correctly, as the ear is located on the line that goes from the eye across the side of the head. It still works above and below in perspective, like here or here. So you realize when the head is tilted up, the ears actually go down relative to the eyes. Keep in mind that this is just a perspective guide. Heads aren't that angular like Minecraft heads, and features like the nose and mouth can protrude to beyond the box. If you want to do this exercise too, you can start by drawing a box and rotating it, and you translate that into the box of the head, which then you use to draw the head structure accurately in perspective. Then you can repeat for higher and lower camera angles. The second tip is to draw head turnarounds. This was when I put my knowledge in phase 1 into practice to help me learn how the face is actually structured. Since doing it, I stopped having major issues with getting the position of the facial features right, such as the eye, ear, nose, eyebrows, etc. This was a big problem for me before. This is because drawing turnarounds solidifies the real form of the head in your mind. You get a clear idea of what it should look like from different angles, and the nuances of each angle. Doing this study beforehand will also give you your own personal preferences that you can refer back to when you're stuck or forget how an angle looks like in the future. The steps to do this are: first, find photos of the 3D model overhead and slowly turn it around. I use a combination of the built-in head model from CSV, with pseudo-paint, and photos I found online. I do recommend picking a combination of real-life photos and anime figurines. Real-life photos show you how a proper human head looks like, and anime figurines help you know how to deform them for stylized art. At least to me, it is important to learn to also look at the references of the style you're actually drawing. Once you got your reference, the next step is to analyze it. What you want to study are the planes of the face. Break the head structure down into a box and see how it is oriented. One useful tip is that the top edge, bottom edge, and the eyeline are always parallel in perspective. The third step is to draw a stylized base head structure while referring to your analysis. And by stylized, I mean in the proportions of the kind of face you usually draw for your characters. If you don't have one yet, I suggest studying the head portion of the artist you admire and using that. Then use that base structure to output into a character of your choice. The final step is very important to translate the real-life knowledge you gain from the analysis into a stylized one. In other words, it helps you activate the learning cycle so you can actually use it when you're drawing characters. In this case, I focus on outputting to a single character, Firefly, Cinelever design. I definitely recommend this method because you can gain a lot of experience by doing this. This tip was a game changer for me, and the more turnarounds you do, the more you learn. Training is over. Time for my final exam. Did I learn anything from all this practice? Was it a waste of time? To find out, I'll draw a firefly again to see how much has changed. I started with this rough sketch. I tried to incorporate the construction method Donna used in her illustration. I chose a top-down perspective as I thought it helps enhance the cuteness. I only did some minor anatomic construction for the torso and the arms. Then I moved on to the line art phase pretty quickly. I'm surprised by how well the line art came out, considering it only took 4 hours. I just never thought I was capable of it. I thought I wasn't able to draw without tracing 3D models. Turns out I just never really tried. The coloring process was reasonably simple too. I just applied the base color onto a layer, then I added highlights and shadows on a separate hard light layer above it. In the end, she turns out like this. Overall, I think I nailed the expressions, and this piece took way less time than my usual artwork because I'm much more comfortable with drawing heads now. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more tutorials like this, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on the bell icon so you can get notified whenever I make a new one. Also, if you want to see my art, make sure to check out my Twitter in the link below. This was Emushii, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.